Video games are a waste of time for men with nothing else to do. Real brains don't do that. Ray Bradbury. The famed Fahrenheit 451 author gave this zinger in a 2001 interview when asked if he were a younger man, would he partake in modern gaming? An interesting person to ask, considering 451's acclaim as one of the greatest science fiction novels of all time, most notable for its themes of censorship and the threat of societal obsession with mass media and technology. Even if you understandably have trouble stomaching Bradbury's harsh take on peanut brain gamers pouring empty hours into their pastime, it's hard to deny 451's prophetic take on modern society. Misinformation is spread widely like clockwork. Meanwhile, we're often too consumed with digital reinforcement of our own self-worth to truly give a damn. While a discerning ear can sort the ill-intentioned word vomit spewed into the proper garbage receptacle, turning a blind eye to the intoxicating allure of the many modern technological time sinks is challenging. Smartphones packed to the brim with attention-seeking apps, social media facilitating a bottomless pit of polarizing opinions and lifestyles to play off our unending curiosity. Movie blockbusters that spiral into cult-like phenomena, vibing into another world through your own brand of music. A sea of video games that grows deeper and more accessible every day. Millions watching those gamers wade their way through these waters in real time or snapshots uploaded to this very website. And those like me, who discuss these topics in the hope of competing for your time against all of this. Immersing yourself deeply in one or more of these activities as a means of spicing up your daily monotony could be defined as escapism. To put it plainly, using entertainment as a way to avoid reality, to escape. Video games are a waste of time for men with nothing to do. Real brains don't do that. On occasion, sure. As relaxation, great. But not full time, and a lot of people are doing that. And while they're doing that, I'll go ahead and write another novel. Looking beyond the heaping dose of condescension in this statement, there is a hint of merit underneath its weight. Video games, according to Bradbury, are acceptable in small doses as a relaxation tool. Just be aware you're wasting your time accomplishing nothing. In other words, video games are an escape devoid of value outside of providing yourself a meaningless distraction. Today, I'd like to make a case against this notion. I want to share with you why I believe video games provide an incredibly valuable reprieve from reality. Relief that not only gives you a moment to exhale, but can positively reinforce your ability to breathe easier when you come up for air. I want to show you why escapism matters and how video games provide a unique twist in its execution. Providing a clearly defined reason why one would want to escape reality will be a difficult task, because the real world is perceived through your own unique lens. On a high level, people generally seek to avoid feelings such as boredom, sadness, or fear. While the cause may be different, these are basic emotions that we can all relate to and understand the appeal in seeing them temporarily washed away. Entertainment provides this opportunity through opening a window into another world, one you can, for a time, become lost in. Before we get lost in fiction, allow me to provide a real-world example of this phenomenon on a wide scale, following the very real American stock market crash of 1929. In an extremely tumultuous time for the nation, people turned toward magazines, movies, and radio shows for relief. Media that created a united front of appealing fantasies. Take the 1936 Oscar-winning film, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Longfellow Deeds, a bumpkin from Vermont, goes from rags to riches overnight to the tune of nearly $400 million adjusted for inflation when his uncle passes on his fortune. Through some twists and turns, his uncle's late attorney, a man who already holds substantial wealth, schemes to prove Deeds insane in an effort to make him unfit to inherit the fortune. Despite the lawyer's ploy to add the fortune to his stockpile, Deeds is inspired to fight back thanks to his dame, literally named Babe.
That'll do, pig.
In response, he tears apart the lawyer's flimsy case, punctuating it with a literal punch to the face. The judge's response? To exclaim he's the sanest man ever to enter the courtroom. He then donates the lion's share of his fortune to the impoverished farmers of his hometown, giving them 10-acre farms in exchange for a few years of work. Breaking down the elements, you have an everyman who lucks into a sudden, massive financial windfall, fists a rich man to thunderous applause in a courtroom, then makes it rain on the less fortunate. These fictional events represent three very real desires we can assume someone from that era would have. Complete financial relief, giving the greedy pigs that hoard wealth the what for, and having such a substantial fortune that you could help those who experience the same pain as yourself. Were any of those dreamers likely to wake up and find a pile of gold on their doorstep? No, but a 2-hour getaway into that world provided momentary relief from reality. A snapshot of a world full of luck and generosity not afforded outside of daydreams. A century removed from this crisis, financial pitfalls and a feeling of powerlessness against the hand you're dealt are eternally relatable for many of us, especially in this unprecedented time that has many of us shuttered indoors. In fact, I've been so restless while working on this video that my stress prompted me to yeet into my refrigerator and down half a block of cheese in record time. While that sweet Havarti provided brief comfort to my taste buds, the only thing I gained outside of momentary bliss was extra poundage to my fat behind. In moderation, vices like this are completely fine, but shoving half a pound of cheese down my gullet as if I was speedrunning its demise isn't exactly the picture of health. Assuming you aren't dashing your way through the video games you play in world record time, the average gamer has to take moderation into consideration. As Bradbury kindly laid out, vices are acceptable for occasional relaxation. The question comes in defining what is occasional. Take my escapade into coping through Havarti. How many of you would consider eating 800 calories of cheese in 20 minutes to be well moderated? Probably not many. However, this information is incomplete in a vacuum. What if I told you for the rest of that day, all I ate was 1,000 calories worth of vegetables? As an adult male who burns roughly 2,200 calories a day, I would actually be losing weight in that scenario. Consider further that my indulgences like this only occur once a week. An understanding of calories in versus calories out in healthy foods makes it easy to quantify whether moderation is being well exercised. With escaping into media, the line between too much and too little is blurred. There's no quantifiable limitation on how much you should or could consume in a 24-hour period. Depending on age, there are any number of responsibilities that might pull you away, such as schooling, career, childcare, or social obligations. Though each of these can bring joy, they have the potential to be part of a mundane routine you want to escape from at best, and contributing factors to a decline of mental health at worst. If you've ever felt yourself disillusioned by your daily reality, the appeal of escape in the form of media is likely no stranger to you. In the face of this intoxicating pull, there is no quantifiable allotment that works as a one-size-fits-all measurement of escapism. Instead, you're left to individually assess the balance of your responsibilities against frivolities. And make no mistake, despite any arguments to follow, ensuring that you take care of your obligations is important to overall well-being. But honest self-introspection into time management requires more than a black and white quantitative scale of work versus play. Instead, you must also consider the qualitative value of your escape. Think about it. When you size up your job, do you solely consider your income? It's undoubtedly a massive factor, but so is the experience you're receiving, company culture, mutual respect from coworkers, and work-life balance. Elements that are more based on your personal disposition than a specific standardized correct amount of these things. When evaluating how we escape beyond moderation of a tangible time spent on X activity, we have to find a way to measure these intangibles to determine the real value. A method of carrying this out was proposed by Norwegian psychologist Frode Stenseng. He suggested that there are two distinct dimensions to escapist behavior: self-suppression and self-expansion. Self-suppression is the type of escapism you've heard panned by critics similar to Bradbury that frame your momentary relaxation as hogwash without significant value. To their credit, Stenseng defines self-suppression as an escape to prevent negative thoughts and emotions. And while you absolutely need breathers from these sort of draining feelings, avoidance can reinforce that hiding from that reality is an acceptable solution instead of facing it. This is where moderation comes into play. In contrast, self-expansion is escaping to seek out positive activities that facilitate growth. Instead of avoiding reality, you seek to expand your mindset and skills through outlets not standard to your routine. This can occur through traditional forms of media such as books, movies, music, TV, and of course, video games. All of these offer opportunities for positive expansion of yourself or a chance to avoid a self-perceived negative reality. The key is your motivation, your intent. In the realm of media, games offer a unique element in this formula that no other can provide: player agency. But before we dive headlong into how video games are a fantastic way to broaden your horizons, allow me to introduce today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. I know I'm spending more time online than ever before, and I gotta say, after reading Fahrenheit 451, the idea of the government collecting my personal data is terrifying. Thankfully, ExpressVPN halts their ability to track your information by encrypting your data and hiding your location. Speaking of location, ExpressVPN allows you to change yours at will, meaning easy access to region-exclusive content. During the lockdown, my fiance and I began a Studio Ghibli marathon. You know how many of their films are on US Netflix? 0. How about UK Netflix? Nearly their whole filmography. Like the magic those films inspire, ExpressVPN let me change my location with an easy click, then boom, full access to content from across the sea. Head to my link in the description to sign up and get 3 months for free. Big thanks to ExpressVPN for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for listening. Like Studio Ghibli movies, books, and TV, games offer a world to escape into. But unlike those mediums, video games offer player agency, the ability to intervene and take action within the fictional world. It offers a stake in changing another reality, a power fantasy that can be a stark contrast to everyday life. Echoing my earlier sentiments, a feeling of powerlessness to change the hand you've been dealt in life can be demotivating. Escaping into a place where you have a say in shaping the world around you can be exhilarating as a result. You can accomplish goals, get out frustration in a safe, cathartic way akin to screaming into a pillow. You can achieve victory against opponents online or establish a sense of community. You can control your destiny. The last 2 months is ripe with examples. Animal Crossing New Horizons gave an opportunity to unburden yourself from debt to a tyrannical tanuki. The result is free reign to shape an island full of lovely animal neighbors, with imagination and resourcefulness as your only limitations. Unshackling your debts is akin to washing away the past. Nioh 2, for all its brutally satisfying combat, has a story at its core that centers around rewriting history instead of washing it away, an appealing idea to those who hold on to regret. But its high difficulty encourages you to become comfortable with the idea that failures aren't reasons to quit, but a signal to persevere towards success. Final Fantasy VII Remake rewrote gaming history and gave me the power to fight back against corporate overlords destroying nature in the name of profit. The significant impact made against those nefarious goals is a reminder of why every little effort you make in reality is so important. Resident Evil 3 Remake threw me into a tense situation that honed my ability to make quick decisions under stress and offers a cathartic fantasy that there's hope in seemingly impossible circumstances. Doom Eternal simply let me rid the world of evil in the most mercilessly stylish way possible. Each of these games could be used as a reprieve from a mundane or oppressive daily routine that has you crying out for an enjoyable outlet to avoid the negative feelings such an environment creates. Each also offers a remarkable simulation of changing the hand you've been dealt and growing as a result of that change. But linking games with stylistic and even comical yet brutal depictions of violence as an appealing escape for people swimming in negativity is a dangerous suggestion if you believe people are likely to take action inspired by these fantasies. And I do. In accordance with the escape model, I wholeheartedly believe that those seeking both self-suppression and self-expansion through video games will at least find a distraction, and at best, you may find yourself feeling empowered. That can translate into motivation to take action against any negative feelings that caused you to seek an escape in the first place. But this motivation isn't necessarily applied in a direct manner. Any decisions you feel inspired to make as a result of an escape you connect with is subject to your own rational decision-making and morality. The age-old argument of video games making stark behavioral impacts on the aggression levels of impressionable youths has mountains of supporting evidence to both prove and disprove that claim, which is a hot topic likely to carry on with the bickering back and forth for decades to come as ulterior motivations skew the narrative. A lot of the people who make those arguments have more academic accolades to their name than I ever will. My bachelor's degree in economics is catching dust in a storage closet, meanwhile I proudly display my silver play button on the wall behind me. The point here is to say, I am by no means an expert. I'm one man with an opinion who did some research on the internet and came to a conclusion I found meaningful based on my own personal experience. That conclusion? The value of an escape isn't defined by what it is. It's defined by who experiences it. You are the X factor that consumes art, a static quantity. A painting doesn't change no matter how long you stare at it, but the way you look at it might differ from your neighbor or even yourself over two separate viewings. Differing perspectives don't alter the paint, but they do influence your perception. I may not be able to make a 500% markup on every turnip in life, but spending time working in a delightfully cute way towards smashing debts inspired me to take a serious look at how I manage my own finances. I don't think I'll be reborn as a half-demon making substantial changes to history for the better anytime soon, but it did make me take pause for a moment and consider the legacy I'm leaving behind. Smashing things with a 2-ton blade isn't going to help the earth breathe any easier, but the connection I felt to the fictional planet Gaia made me reevaluate what I'm doing to help the environment. Though I lack the means or intelligence to remedy our current reality, resilient badasses like Jill Valentine strengthen my own conviction to stay resolute in what little impacts I can make. And while making things go boom and doom is an absolute blast, I have zero desire to see anyone in reality physically harmed. The opposite, in fact. In the face of pure evil, it reminds me how grateful I am to know so many people full of love and positivity. Games can inspire us to grow through broadening our perspectives, polishing skills that can translate to the real world, and create a sense of community. They can also be cathartic power fantasies that have immense value as mindless escapes from a powerless reality. Like any group of people, there are outliers. Without proper self-control and moderation, too much escapism into gaming can be a drain on other important aspects of life. It is also possible that someone with a less than admirable moral compass and a tendency toward aggression could be fueled by gaming in a negative way. I don't deny the possibility of these outcomes, but there's so much emphasis on them. From the curmudgeonly dismissal by Bradbury at the outset, to the many talking heads that reinforce ties between gaming and aggressive behavior. I see so little on the positive impacts gaming has on those of us who can, for a time, turn our brains off and lose ourselves. When we power the old noggin back on, I believe these experiences provide us with phenomenal value beyond simple escapes. When I turn off the game console and return to reality, the weight on my shoulders is slightly lighter. During this time, that's been more important than ever before. Whether I'm escaping because I need to turn reality off for a bit, or because I want to improve myself while having a blast, losing myself in gaming is one of the most valuable parts of my life. It's a medium that makes it clear not only why escapism matters, but how it can positively reinforce outcomes when you return to reality. It's rich of me to chastise Bradbury for spurning the digital age in favor of his primary media method, books, one he's biased toward, and then do the same myself for games. I should make it clear that the goal of this video wasn't to imply other forms of media don't have value, they absolutely do. I just wanted to share why I believe games don't get enough credit for how much value they provide to those who love the medium. I know this was really out of left field in terms of topics I normally cover, but I'm having a lot of fun with the flexibility of an open-ended format. Hopefully you were able to relate in some way. If you did, I would love to hear how games have helped you. If you enjoyed the video, I'd also be grateful if you'd share it with someone else who shares our love of gaming. I hope you all are finding motivation and happiness in whatever your escapes may be, and I wish you all the best of health. Thank you so much for watching today, much love to you, and I'll see you in the next video.